What's up, Mets fans? It's your boy CP, and welcome back to the latest edition of the True Mets Talk podcast. It is February 12th, 2024, when I am recording this. It is officially baseball season. Pitchers and catchers reporting for duty today. The NFL season is now behind us, and it feels good to be back into the swing of things. As it relates to pitchers and catchers reporting, we're going to be talking about one player in particular in this podcast episode, and that is Mr. Francisco Alvarez. Before we get into the episode, like I said, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Keep subscribing to the channel. The channel is now at 500 plus subscribers. I thoroughly appreciate the support. Thank you all if you subscribed. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. As you're watching this video, bottom right-hand corner, hover over my icon and subscribe. Hit the comment section down below to let me know all of your opinions and thoughts on today's episode. Thank you all for continuously showing the support. One milestone is down on the channel, and I got a lot more to go, and I have you all to thank for that. I couldn't do it without you, so thank you so much. And for the True Mets Talk podcast, you might notice something different. I have an updated background, an updated layout. Hopefully, this makes things a lot easier and more efficient for you all to follow along as I talk about our beloved Mets. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Francisco Alvarez and the overarching question that I am posing in today's video of, should the Mets extend Francisco Alvarez before the 2024 season begins? This is a topic that we saw gain a lot of steam earlier on this offseason. It was reported that Francisco Alvarez and his camp would be open to contract extension talks if the Mets approach them in doing so. Now, I'm going to give you all my upfront answer, but I want you all to hit the comment section down below and say yes or no, why or why not. I am saying absolutely yes. You need to extend Francisco Alvarez as soon as possible. He's coming off of a great 2023 in his rookie campaign, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. These numbers here offensively and the impressiveness that we've seen from his defensive side, his defensive game behind the plate, that is only the tip of the iceberg in terms of what we're going to see from Francisco Alvarez for years to come. And as we all know with these contracts, tomorrow's price is not yesterday's price. I hope I'm saying that right. Anyways, you know what I mean. These numbers are going to get better. We're going to get into his 2024 Fangraphs projections here in just a second. But as he continues to go along and get better and produce more, he is going to want premier catching money. And he's probably already deserving of it, to be honest. And looking at the contracts given out to catchers, starting catchers, that is, around the league, he's already deserving of it. But there's only two catchers in this league that are making $20+ million, and that is Salvador Perez and JT Realmuto. And there's probably soon to be a third one, and his name is Adley Rutschman. Now, I can sit here and talk about why it's advantageous for the Mets to get this extension done with Alvarez before Rutschman gets his extension with the O's, but I'm sure you all know where I'm going with that. Coupled to the fact that Rutschman's already 26 years old and Francisco Alvarez is only 22 years old. When you talk about these extensions for young players that don't have much sample size to go along with them, we're talking about not only just one season, like we have here with Francisco Alvarez. We're not only talking about the 2023 numbers and what he produced, but also projecting out his potential and what it could look like for the New York Mets moving forward in years to come. That's what these extensions project. We see it all the time. The Braves have done it with Spencer Strider, Michael Harris, way back when with Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuna. We've seen it most recently with the Brewers and Jackson Chirios, who hasn't even stepped foot on an MLB diamond yet. Think about that. Most recently, the Kansas City Royals with Bobby Witt Jr. Now, I know I'm talking about different positions here, but the catching position especially, it's tough to find premier talent like Alvarez. And we've known about him for years. At one point, he was the #1 prospect in the entire MLB pipeline. You need to lock him up for the foreseeable future, and sooner rather than later. Now, we all see the numbers here, right? 209 batting average, a lot left to be desired there. That's going to go up, absolutely. There are growing pains associated with a rookie catcher handling both the bat and the defensive responsibilities, which he did extremely well. 2 Hall of Fame pitchers in the Mets rotation last season spoke very highly of him and wanted him, Francisco Alvarez, to be their duo in that battery unit that is a catcher and a pitcher. They wanted Francisco Alvarez. That should tell you everything you need to know. But if it doesn't, like I said, 95th percentile in all the MLB in terms of pitch framing. He steals strikes for his pitchers. That is a pitcher's best friend right there. That is a pitcher's best friend. With the bat, 25 home runs. The power is insane with Francisco Alvarez. Those tree trunks for legs that he has, using his lower half, getting that torque and driving the ball out of the ballpark. The hard hit rate, the exit velo in the advanced metrics category on Baseball Savant. All pluses with Francisco Alvarez. So the bottom line here is extend Francisco Alvarez and do it before the 2024 season begins, in my humble opinion. Now, that's my opinion. As viewers, I want you all to provide your thoughts and opinions, because this is the Mets' franchise catcher. We haven't seen any consistency from a catcher since probably Travis d'Arnaud. And even that was short-lived. We have a 22-year-old borderline phenom that not many other teams can say that they have behind the plate in terms of production, but also potential down the line in terms of his youth. Like I said, Rutschman is 26 years old. JT Realmuto's, they're in the prime right now. Salvador Perez is on the last legs of his career. The Mets are in a great situation with their catching situation and the catcher that they now have in the door. Give him his money. It benefits both parties. Not only the Mets getting ahead of this, maybe getting a team-friendly deal, but also Alvarez. He gets a lot of protection with a long-term contract. This is the trade-off that you get. Now, that's not to say that Francisco Alvarez can't go out there and stink it up in 2024. He absolutely can. But like I said, when you're a front office and when you're David Stearns in charge of making this decision, it's about not only what you saw in 2023, but where you're projecting Alvarez for years to come. So don't forget about that. Moving on, these are his 2024 projections via Fangraphs. 123 games appeared in 2023, and they're projecting him at 5 less. In 2024 at 118. Whatever the reason may be. The catching position, it's a huge toll on the body. And for him to appear in 123 games last season was already impressive nonetheless. So I'll take 118. Maybe he slots in some at DH to mitigate or compensate for any sort of damage that is being done behind the plate. We know those knick-knack injuries, foul balls off the chest, off the fingers, all of that. But this is a guy also that we're talking about that got banged up last year behind the plate. He didn't go on the IL. He wasn't going to go on the IL for a little bit of a finger injury. He played through a lot of injuries, and that's something that people also forget with Francisco Alvarez. He is a tough kid, man. He is a tough kid. I want someone like that behind the plate, and I'm glad we have him. Absolutely. Fangraphs is also projecting him to boost pretty much every single stat category, with the exception of home runs being consistent at 25. Batting average going up to 230. RBIs going up just a smidge. Depending on where he bats, this is also going to have a direct impact on the RBI total. Now, I'm projecting him to be, depending on what the Mets do, 1 through 4, maybe that 5th batter or maybe that 6th batter. Do I want him to be that protection for Pete Alonso in year 2? With him already batting 209 in his rookie campaign, no. I don't want that kind of pressure on him. But he will be that type of hitter very shortly. Make no mistake about it. And then the OPS here, pretty much everyone's favorite stat at 775, would be a drastic difference from 721. This is the type of season in year 2 that I can get behind. Now, I know a lot of people love to take into account the batting average. Listen, Alvarez has a sweet swing. It's still a little bit long, not as long as Mark Vientos is, but a little bit lengthy. He's known to get behind in counts. He's known to extend the strike zone and chase outside pitches. We've seen this from Francisco Alvarez. And like I said, these are all growing pains. So we have to be patient in terms of numbers like a batting average to go up. And I know a lot of people, maybe the newer fans in the game, the younger fans in the game, don't put as much stock into batting average. So depending on what type of baseball fan you are and what statistics you value as a viewer as you're watching this, make your own assumptions. But I'm here to tell you all, if Francisco Alvarez produces a season like this, at age 22, that contract, if extended before opening day this season, will be well on its way to being worth it. So let me know in the comment section what you think. Yay or nay to a Francisco Alvarez extension before opening day? This is something that we've already heard. We've already heard those murmurs. We've seen it around the league with other teams extending their young star players. Could the Mets be next? My answer is yes. I want to hear y'all's thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in to the latest episode of the True Mets Talk podcast. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Check out all the previous content. We'll be going live at some point this week. Mets Hot Stove Live, Interstate Mets Report. Interstate Mets Report going down tomorrow, Tuesday, February 13th. We have a special guest, another Mets content creator. You don't want to miss out. We'll be getting his thoughts and opinions officially on the Mets offseason as we inch closer to spring training. It's going to be a fun one. Don't miss out. That is going to be at 8:15 p.m., a nightcap. Find me on X and Instagram at CPNYSPORTS. And like I said, I want to hear what you all have to think. Hopefully, you've enjoyed the new layout. I got my handy-dandy Metro cart, the New York City skyline, and my new updated logo here. Thank you for rocking with me, guys. It's a true joy to make these podcast videos. We'll see what happens with Francisco Alvarez. But if I had to make my official statement right now on February 12th, 2024, extend that man, Francisco Alvarez, give him his money, and let's ride into 2024 on a high note. Until next time, guys, it's your boy CP. I'm out. Thank you for watching the latest episode of the CP New York Sports Pod. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you hit that thumbs up, comment your thoughts and opinions, and use the lower right-hand button of this video to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.